Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We've got some new Battlefield 6 updates in the work that are going to directly impact gameplay at a pretty distinct level, a pretty significant level as well, depending on what you've been spending your time doing in Battlefield 6 so far. Obviously, there's been a lot of discussion so far around progression, how it feels very slow to level up weapons, to go through some of the challenges and whatnot. And so a lot of players have been turning to Portal in the server browser to go into servers where maybe people are exclusively grinding vehicles, so you have a better chance of running into those, or you're playing against bots where the challenges were tracking. You could level things up and complete some of those more tedious challenges without the stress of having real world players always sweating trying to sort of counter your play in game. And this has been a big discussion, like I said, for the past little while. Should this be a thing? Should this not be a thing? You know, they said they would get full XP in the Portal browser, so they have to uphold that. It's been a whole thing. Well, Battlefield's responded and seemingly planned out some updates that are definitely going to make some players happy who are completing challenges and just okay with the long form grind that we've got here. It's also going to upset probably quite a few players as well. So here's what the Battlefield comms account originally posted, saying, "We are in the process of deploying several backend updates aimed at improving community experiences and encouraging more player-filled servers. A more detailed update explaining these changes is targeted for tomorrow." We do have a slight update. Situation's a little bit weird because Battlefield comms didn't post any official tweets themselves, but we do have an update on the Steam community forums for it, so we'll cover that in just a moment. But of course, if there's any other further update posted, Zach will be here later on in the video for sure. But they continue on by saying, "As a part of this effort, we are implementing several back-end changes to support healthier matchmaking and more enjoyable experiences in Portal. These updates will address unintended behaviors that allowed for XP farming or unbalanced gameplay." And we originally also had this update. Charlie Intel reported on this, saying, "Battlefield 6 has nerfed Portal experiences XP farming, with many servers that had bots to farm now no longer awarding any kind of mastery XP or challenge completion." You can see that basically everything is unchecked outside of match completion bonus. So if you were going through the various bot farm servers that were basically 2 or 3 real players, then the rest were just bots, you're not going to be earning the weapon XP for that anymore. You're not going to be earning your base general XP at any kind of decent rate. It's going to be the match completion exclusively. So you got to play the 10, 15, 20 plus minutes to then get the match bonus, which may or may not be significant at that point. You know, the different assignment challenges, other challenge completion no longer tracking as well, essentially just making those practice servers in a sense. You can warm up your aim against those bots. You can get a feel for some guns without the risk of, you know, impacting your overall gameplay or just being a kill farm for the enemy team or anything like that. But really interesting changes here. We have also, though, as I mentioned, have a dev detail, a little bit more of the thought process here. So Battlefield Bulletin ended up reporting on this, saying, "We've got a new update from EA on Battlefield 6's Portal progression," and this was posted here from EA Shepard. And this Steam community update says, "Hey there, we appreciate the replies and the feedback on this, so I put together a list of what we are hearing. Many of you want full progression in solo and co-op and on curated custom servers, not just in the match-made PvP experiences. There's real frustration about expectations versus what shipped. Our messaging around progression eligibility was not clear." Obviously, we had a lot of the Portal trailers and announcements saying earn full XP in all the community servers. If it's a super different experience from core Battlefield gameplay, like if you're playing Shipment or something, then yes, that's going to have much less XP earn rate than like a normal Conquest 24/7 server or something like that. Some of you worry about stat and leaderboard integrity and bot farm exploits. Players with limited time prefer low stress PvE and still want meaningful unlocks. So there's both sides of the coin here that have valid arguments. Progression in PvE and curated servers, test servers, we are enabling account XP and unlock track progression in solo and co-op in a curated list of community servers. To protect stats, KD, leaderboards, and certain mastery tallies won't update in these spaces during the test. If the data looks good with low exploit and low noise levels, then we'll expand that eligibility. So basically they're going to run a test where certain verified servers, if you will, curated servers, will allow for account XP and unlock stuff. But if it's just players going in there exclusively to farm, then their data is going to show that, and they're going to realize that, and that's probably not going to be a thing that lasts beyond this test. Anti-farm guardrails, minimum difficulty, activity checks for AFK and loop detection, mixed target requirements, and sensible XP per minute caps. Servers that trip exploit signals will lose their status until fixed, and you go through as the server host and basically adjust the rule sets there. There needs to be more clear labeling. Modes and servers will be tagged progression eligible or not eligible in the browser and pre-match screen. And then they say what we need from you is the data. If you hit a legitimate mode that should be eligible but is not, drop the server name and code code, the platform, and the time, feel free to tag me and I'll compile all that data and send it up. If you spot obvious farm servers, flag them and include the code. Keep the feedback coming because your voice matters here. So an interesting update here, basically going through and saying we're going to test various methods. And like I said, kind of a weird place to have the community update. If the Battlefield comms account or anything posts actual official tweets there, we get anything, with further details. By the time that I'm ready to post this video, I will toss in a little edit here. Well, I told you if we got an update, there would be post edit Zach, and post edit Zach is here because we've got quite a significant update, an entire new community post detailing community servers and Portal experiences, sort of expanding what we saw in that original Steam thread there, but also giving us even more details. So we've got quite a bit to go through and break down with this new community update here. So they say, as we mentioned last week, we are in the process of addressing some known issues affecting Portal's community tab and the availability of servers and experiences there. So an update on community experiences. Recently, we shared that we're making changes to reduce the number of XP farm servers appearing in the browser. These servers have made it harder for players to discover these kinds of experiences Portal was created for. We have organized a series of changes to emphasize our commitment to highlighting player community and making this a space where you can celebrate creativity and find unique experiences. As a part of this effort, we've rolled out several back-end updates to support healthier matchmaking and better overall experiences in Portal. This includes resolving unintended systems that affected XP progression and balance across experiences, and for now, removing bots from verified experiences to help improve the overall quality of matches. So, further updates that were made. This actually ended up getting posted late last night in the midst of the Vikings losing and the Avs not fully winning and the Nuggets losing. Bad night for sports, good night for Battlefield updates in my house. Verified experiences with bot disabled continue to grant full progression and XP. So you can still play those verified experiences and get normal progression, normal challenges, normal XP. There just won't be any bots there, but they're full verified experiences. Those are the Battlefield official tags, and we'll touch on that in just a moment. Custom experiences will continue earning reduced progression regardless of whether bots are active. This keeps creative freedom and allows you to express within Portal while maintaining progression balance. They also say to pick up these changes properly and have experience earn full XP, any qualifying experience would need to be unpublished, have bot backfill disabled so that you don't fill with bots if there's not enough players, and then you have to republish it as like a server host or a Portal creator. Servers, including persistent ones, may occasionally need to be restarted. These brief interruptions may continue until ongoing improvements are implemented. They go on to say, at an initial glance, we've started to see a decline in PvE servers with fewer active players, while PvP servers, where you're actually playing against real people, are becoming more active, and that's the end goal here. PvE options are still available, but verified experiences with full XP are starting to better reflect our focus on player versus player gameplay. Also, we're still exploring potential solutions that address current issues that would allow us to reintroduce bots in the future while continuing to deliver a great player experience. We also got an update regarding challenges. They say, want to take a moment to acknowledge that we have seen the discussion that these farming servers are necessary due to the difficulty of challenges or issues affecting them. We're actively working on updates for these and we'll share progress as it's made. We actually have some information coming later today, so stay tuned for that video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel because there's some pretty big things happening with changes there. What's next for Portal? We believe the best Battlefield moments happen when players connect and compete in a shared player-driven experience, the kind of experiences that capture the unpredictability, teamwork, and intense moments that define Battlefield. These updates will move us closer to that goal. We'll continue to monitor, adjust, and refine community experiences as issues are resolved. They also say we've seen a few questions about the verified experiences and what's the official servers. The Battlefield official servers are legitimate official servers created and maintained by the Battlefield team. You'll see them listed under the Battlefield official or BF Portal official accounts. Both names refer to the verified source. So when it says hosted, it'll say Battlefield official or BF Portal official on there, and you'll know that that's one of the verified experiences. Those host persistent Battlefield experiences like Conquest, Breakthrough, and Rush with the standard vanilla settings. Currently, multiple persistent servers are hosted under Battlefield official, so players can find those populated matches without needing to rely on bots. We also maintain a variety of verified experiences, such as hardcore infantry and closed weapon variants that appear in the featured experiences or through the search function as well, and those do have full XP. So yeah, like I said, quite the post-edit Zach here. But that said, obviously, as we continue to get more information about this general situation, we might see some updates to this with Season 1 as well, or perhaps some surprise posts posted in the coming days, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date with absolutely everything going on in Battlefield. We've got a very busy week ahead of us, obviously with the major Season 1 update inbound and beyond, so you're not going to want to miss anything. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Right now, around 56% of viewers watching are not subscribed, so I'd love to have you change that if that's you. Of course, we are getting closer and closer to hitting 1 million subs. Also, if you enjoy this video, a like rating is seriously appreciated as well. But that's not all for the relatively controversial updates here. We also got this post earlier on this week from Charles Intelligence, saying EA has reportedly started to send out notices to Battlefield 6 Portal players who have created non-Battlefield maps, including Call of Duty content like Shipment. The notice says that having third-party content in Battlefield 6 could result in bans. So obviously this has been a big thing so far. We did see a similar situation in like Fortnite, for example, where creative mode in that, or whatever it's called, ended up getting Shipment remakes, Nuketown remakes, etc. And then those had to get taken down because Fortnite was like, yeah, we're not getting copyright hit by Activision or anything. Sort of the same deal here. Funny enough, in the coming days, we're actually going to drop into some Rust gameplay that I recorded just the other day, I guess right before they started shutting down some of this stuff. So we've got that video coming. It's a pretty interesting one, so stay tuned for that. But definitely news that I'm not super surprised by, but still a little bit disappointed in. And then lastly here, definitely a controversial update. There's been a lot of comments on this already because some of the skins upcoming for Season 1 have surfaced, and some Battlefield 6 players are calling the Season 1 Battle Pass skins unrealistic, saying the bright colors take away from the milsim skins EA could add instead. This one definitely seems to be the most extreme example of it, where we have this very bright blue, like skull, almost Oni looking mask on there, right? Definitely not the most realistic operator skin. There are some other ones. There's a much larger list of skins that were leaked. Some maybe like a little bit brighter yellow or brighter orange or brighter green. I'm not too concerned about those. Probably not skins I'd personally be running myself anyways, because it's going to make you stand out so much. This seems maybe a little bit more out there than some of the standard milsim stuff that we've got in the game already, but who knows, maybe they'll see feedback on this and potentially alter some things for the pass upcoming if the feedback is loud enough. But curious to see your guys' thoughts on this down in the comments below. Do you guys care about a skin like this? Like, it's so funny because this is what's the outrage here in Battlefield 6 right now, whereas in Call of Duty we've got Beavis and Butthead and unicorns and all sorts of ridiculous stuff, sharks and with lasers on their heads. It's crazy over there. But definitely some interesting news here that has the community very upset to a certain degree. Definitely the split here as well. Some people saying it's fine, some people saying absolutely not. But quite a few new hot updates, controversial updates for Battlefield 6, sort of in the midst of rolling out here. We'll see more as Season 1 ends up releasing here soon, but lots going on here. You guys aren't going to want to miss any future updates here coming in the next few days and weeks. So if you want to stay tuned to everything going on, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.